Have you ever felt like people were against you and you didn't even know why? Psalm 35 is David's raw, unfiltered prayer about betrayal and his plea to the Lord for help. One of the most powerful spiritual warfare passages. Also in this video, gonna cover some chapters in Numbers. This video is gonna be emotional. It's gonna be challenging. Let's get right into it. We're gonna start in Psalm, and I highly encourage you read along with me. I am gonna be using the NLT today. It's a great, easy to read translation. Psalm 35 is a psalm of David. And it starts with verse 1. O Lord, oppose those who oppose me, fight those who fight against me. Put on your armor and take up your shield. Prepare for battle and come to my aid. It says in verse 3, lift up your spear and javelin against those who pursue me. Let me hear you say, I will give you victory. Bring shame and disgrace on those trying to kill me. Turn them back and humiliate those who want to harm me. Blow them away like a shaft in the wind, a wind sent by the angel of the Lord. Make their path dark and slippery, with the angel of the Lord pursuing them. I did no wrong, but they laid a trap for me. How many of us feel like that right now? I did them no wrong, but they dug a pit to catch me. So let sudden ruin come upon them! Exclamation mark. Like, he is serious. And then it says, let them be caught in the trap they set for me. Let them be destroyed in the pit they dug for me. Then I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be glad because he rescues me. With every bone in my body, I will praise him. Lord, who can compare with you? Who else rescues the helpless from the strong? Who else protects the helpless and poor from those who rob them? Malicious witnesses testify against me. They accuse me of crimes I know nothing about. Come on, who's relating right now? Verse 12 says, they repay me evil for good. I am sick with despair. Yet when they were ill, I grieved for them. Did you hear that? So I felt like he's just feeling betrayal from friends he interceded for. It says, I denied myself by fasting for them, but my prayers returned unanswered. I was sad as though they were my friends or family, as if I were grieving for my own mother. But they are glad, and now that I am in trouble, they gleefully join together against me. I am attacked by people I don't even know. They slander me constantly. They mock me and call me names. They snarl at me. Snarl at me. Verse 17 says, how long, O Lord, will you look on and do nothing? Rescue me from their fierce attacks. Protect my life from these lions. Then I will thank you in front of the great assembly. I will praise you before all the people. Don't let my treacherous enemies rejoice over my defeat. Don't let those who hate me without cause gloat over my sorrow. They don't talk of peace. They plot against innocent people who mind their own business. They shout, aha, aha. It literally says that. With our own eyes, we saw him do it. Oh Lord, you know all about this. Do not stay silent. Do not abandon me now, oh Lord. Wake up, rise to my defense. Take up my case, my God and my Lord. Declare me not guilty, oh Lord, my God, for you give justice. Don't let my enemies laugh about me in my troubles. Oh, come on now. Don't let my enemies, Lord Jesus. Don't let them say, look, we got what we wanted. Now we will eat him alive. May those who rejoice at my troubles be humiliated and disgraced. Wow. May those who triumph over me be covered with shame and dishonor. Verse 27 says, but give great joy to those who come to my defense. Let them continually say, great is the Lord, who delights in blessing his servant with peace. Then I will proclaim your justice and I will praise you all day long. That is Psalm 35, a Psalm of David. If you're feeling attacked, if you're feeling like everybody is against you, Psalm 35, a lot of people can relate to David in this psalm and feeling like those we prayed for are now against us, like those that we helped and fasted for are now, laughing at our troubles. Now let's move on to Numbers chapters 17 to 20. Each video is a part of a series to cover the entire Bible this year because most Christians have not read the entire Bible. So I have a whole series, a whole playlist with over 50 videos already to get you to cover the entire Bible this year. This is part of that series. You can watch the entire series or you can watch each video individually because each video has an amazing lesson. So let's get right into chapter 17. It starts with verse 1. We're going to cover the budding of Aaron's staff. So verse 1 reads, "Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the people of Israel to bring you 12 wooden staffs, one from each leader of Israel's ancestral tribes, and inscribe each leader's name on his staff. Inscribe Aaron's name on the staff of the tribe of Levi, for there must be one staff for the leader of each ancestral tribe. Place these staffs in the tabernacle in front of the ark containing the tablets of the covenant where I meet with you. Buds will sprout on the staff belonging to the man I choose. Then I will finally put an end to the people's murmuring and complaining against you." So Moses gave the instructions to the people of Israel, and each of the 12 tribal leaders, including Aaron, brought Moses a staff. Moses placed the staffs in the Lord's presence in the tabernacle of the covenant. When he went into the tabernacle of the covenant the next day, he found that Aaron's staff, representing the tribe of Levi, had sprouted, budded, blossomed, and produced ripe almonds. When Moses brought all the staffs out from the Lord's presence, he showed them to the people. Each man claimed his own staff, and the Lord said to Moses, "Place Aaron's staff permanently before the ark of the covenant to serve as a warning to rebels. This should put an end to their complaints against me and prevent any further death." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. Then the people of Israel said to Moses, "Look, we are doomed. We are dead. We are ruined. Everyone who even comes close to the tabernacle of the Lord dies. Are we all doomed to die?" Now we're covering chapter 18, where it says duties of the priest and Levites. And then in this chapter it says, "Then the Lord said to Aaron, you, your sons, and your relatives from the tribe of Levi will be held responsible for any offenses related to the sanctuary, but you and your sons alone will be held responsible for violations connected with the priesthood. Bring your relatives of the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, to assist you and your sons as you perform the sacred duties in front of the tabernacle of the covenant. But as the Levites go about all their assigned duties at the tabernacle, they must be careful not to go near any of the sacred objects or the altar. If they do, both you and they will die. The Levites must join you in fulfilling your responsibilities for the care and maintenance of the tabernacle, but no unauthorized person may assist you. You yourselves must perform the sacred duties inside the sanctuary and at the altar. If you follow these instructions, the Lord's anger will never again blaze against the people of Israel. I myself have chosen your fellow Levites from among the Israelites to be your special assistants. They are a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord for service in the tabernacle, but you and your sons, the priests, must personally handle all the priestly rituals associated with the altar and with everything behind the inner curtain. I am giving you the priesthood as your special privilege of service. Any unauthorized person who comes too near the sanctuary will be put to death." Okay, so now we are at support for the priest and the Levite. So we're still on chapter 18, but we're on verse 8 now. "The Lord gave these further instructions to Aaron. I myself have put you in charge of all the holy offerings that are brought to me by the people of Israel. I have given all these consecrated offerings to you and your sons as your permanent share. You are allotted the portion of the most holy offerings that is not burned on the fire. This portion of all the most holy offerings, including the grain offerings, the sin offerings, and guilt offerings, will be most holy, and it belongs belongs to you and your sons. You must eat it as a most holy offering. All the males may eat of it, and you must treat it as most holy. We're now on verse 11, you guys. Okay, so verse 11 reads, all the sacred offerings and special offerings presented to me when the Israelites lift them up before the altar also belong to you. I have given them to you and to your sons and daughters as your permanent share. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean may eat of these offerings. I also give you the harvest gifts brought by the people as offerings to the Lord, the best of the olive oil, new wine, and grain. All the first crops of their land that the people present to the Lord belong to you. Any member of your family who is ceremonially clean may eat this food. Everything in Israel that is specially set apart for the Lord also belongs to you. The firstborn of every mother, every human or animal that is offered to the Lord will be yours, but you must also redeem your firstborn sons and the firstborn of ceremonially unclean animals. Redeem them when they are 1 month old. The redemption price is 5 pieces of silver as measured by the weight of the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs. Verse 17 says, however, you may not redeem the firstborn of cattle, sheep, or goats. They are holy and have been set apart for the Lord. Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. The meat of these animals will be yours, just like the breast and right thigh that are presented by lifting them up as a special offering before the altar. Yes, I am giving you all these holy offerings that the people of Israel bring to the Lord. They are for you and your sons and daughters to be eaten as your permanent share. This is an eternal and unbreakable covenant between the Lord and you, and it also applies to your descendants. And the Lord said to Aaron, your priest will receive no allotment of land or share of property among the people of Israel. I am your share and your allotment. As for the tribe of Levi, your relatives, I will compensate them for their service in the tabernacle. Instead of an allotment of land, I will give them the tithes from the entire land of Israel. Verse 22 says, from now on, no Israelites except priests or Levites may approach the tabernacle. If they come too near, they will be judged guilty and will die. Only the Levites may serve at the tabernacle, and they will be held responsible for any offenses against it. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. The Levites will receive no allotment of land among the Israelites, because I have given them the Israelite tithes, which have been presented as sacred offerings to the Lord. This will be the Levites' share. That is why I said they would receive no allotment of land among the Israelites. Verse 25 says, the Lord also told Moses, give these instructions to the Levites when you receive from the people of Israel the tithes I have assigned you as your allotment. Give a tenth of the tithes you receive, a tithe of the tithe, to the Lord as a sacred offering. The Lord will consider this offering to be your harvest offering, as though it were the first grain from your own threshing floor, or wine from your own winepress. You must present 1/10 of the tithe received from the Israelites as a sacred offering to the Lord. This is the Lord's sacred portion, and you must present it to Aaron the priest. Be sure to give to the Lord the best portions of the gifts given to you. Also give these instructions to the Levites when you present the best part as your offering. It will be considered as though it came from your own threshing floor or wine press. You Levites and your families may eat this food anywhere you wish, for it is your compensation for serving in the tabernacle. You will not be considered guilty for accepting the Lord's tithes if you give the best portion to the priest. But be careful not to treat the holy gifts of the people of Israel as though they were common. If you do, you will die. Wow, right? Wow. So now we're on chapter 19, which is going to talk about the water of purification. Before we go to that, let's recap on chapter 17 with Aaron's rod buds, with his staff blossoming. God is confirming his chosen leaders. And then in chapters 18, we see the responsibilities of the priesthood, a reminder of God's order and how he likes certain things organized and the way he is into details. Okay, so now let's get back to our reading. We are now on chapter 19. In chapter 19, we're going to read about the water of purification. So verse 1 reads, "The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, here is another legal requirement commanded by the Lord. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a red heifer, a perfect animal that has no defects and has never been yoked to a plow. Give it to Eleazar the priest, and it will be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Eleazar will take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tabernacle. As Eleazar watches, the heifer must be burned from its hide, meat, blood, and dung. Eleazar the priest must then take a stick of cedar, a hyssop branch, and some scarlet yarn and throw them into the fire where the heifer is burning. Then the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself in water. Afterward, he may return to the camp. Though he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening, the man who burns the animal must also wash his clothes and bathe himself in the water, and he too will remain unclean until evening. Then someone who is ceremonially clean will gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them in a purified place outside the camp. They will be kept there for the community of Israel to use in the water for the purification ceremony. This ceremony is performed for the removal of sin. The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he will remain ceremonially unclean until evening. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel and any foreigners who live among them." Okay, so now we're on chapter 19, verse 11, and it says, "All those who touch a dead human body will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. They must purify themselves on the 3rd and 7th days with the water purification. Then they will be purified. But if they do not do this on the 3rd and 7th days, they will continue to be unclean even after the 7th day. All those who touch a dead body and do not purify themselves in the proper way defile the Lord's tabernacle, and they will be cut off from the community of Israel. Since the water of purification was not sprinkled on them, their defilement continues. This is the ritual law that applies when someone dies inside a tent. All those who enter that tent and those who were inside when the death occurred will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. Any open container in the tent that was not covered with a lid is also defiled." And so it says, "And if someone is in an open field, it touches the corpse of someone who was killed with a sword or who died a natural death, or if someone touches a human bone or a grave, that person will be defiled for 7 days." Wow. Okay. Verse 17, "To remove the defilement, put some of the ashes from the burnt purification offering in a jar and pour fresh water over them. Then someone who is ceremonially clean must take a hyssop branch and dip it into the water. That person must sprinkle the water on the tent and all the furnishings in it, and on the people who were in the tent, also on the person who touched a human bone or touched someone who was killed or who died naturally or touched a grave. On the 3rd and 7th days, the person who is ceremonially clean must sprinkle the water on those who are defiled. Then on the 7th day, the people being cleansed must wash their clothes and bathe themselves, and that evening they will be cleansed of their defilement." Verse 20 says, "But those who become defiled and do not purify themselves will be cut off from the community, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water of purification has not been sprinkled on them, they remain defiled. This is a permanent law for the people. Those who sprinkle the water of purification must afterward wash their clothes, and anyone who then touches the water used for purification will remain defiled until evening. Anything and anyone that defiled a person touches will be ceremonially unclean until evening." All right, you guys, we are now on chapter 20, which is the last chapter for this video. You have made it this far. You might as well make it to the end, where it just ends so sad. It just ends so sad, but it's okay. There's lessons to be learned here. Now we're on chapter 20, where it talks about Moses strikes the rock. So verse 1 says, "In the first month of the year, the whole community of Israel arrived in the wilderness of Zin and camped at Kadesh. While they were there, Miriam died and was buried." died. It says that there was no water for the people to drink at that place, so they rebelled against Moses and Aaron. The people blamed Moses and said, if only we had died in the Lord's presence with our brothers. Why have you brought the congregation of the Lord's people into this wilderness to die along with all our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt and bring us here to this terrible place? This land has no grain, no figs, no grapes, no pomegranates, and no water to drink. Moses and Aaron turned away from the people and went to the entrance of the tabernacle, where they fell face down on the ground, which we have seen them do multiple times, right, you guys? If you guys have been following along with Numbers, we consistently see Moses and Aaron fall face down on the ground and began to cry out to the Lord on behalf of the Israelites. Okay, so then it says, then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to them, and the Lord said to Moses, you and Aaron must take the staff and assemble the entire community. As the people watch, speak to the rock over there, and it will pour out its water. You will provide enough water from the rock to satisfy the whole community and their livestock. So Moses did as he was told. He took the staff from the place where it was kept before the Lord. Then he and Aaron summoned the people to come and gather at the rock. Listen, you rebels, he shouted. We must bring you water from this rock. Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with the staff, and water gushed out, so the entire community and their livestock drank their fill. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust me enough to demonstrate my holiness to the people of Israel, you would not lead them into the land I am giving them. This place was known as the waters of Meribah, which means arguing, because there the people of Israel argued with the Lord, and there he demonstrated his holiness among them. Oh my God. Imagine that. This is why, again, you guys, it is important to be obedient. It is important to trust. It is important to not delay that obedience. It's important to just trust that what we don't know, God does know. So we have to keep moving forward. We have to keep, overcoming the fear, keep, step on that fear and move forward into what God is calling you to do, because there's consequences to even delayed obedience and to not trusting God. And now we're going to move on to where it says, verse 14, where Edom, is it Edom? Edom refuses Israel passage. Edom. I feel like I've heard this word before. Verse 14 says, while Moses was at Kadesh, he sent ambassadors to the king of Edom with this message, which says, this is what your relatives, the people of Israel, say. You know all the hardships we have been through. Our ancestors went down to Egypt, and we lived there a long time, and we and our ancestors were brutally mistreated by the Egyptians. But when we cried out to the Lord, he heard us and sent an angel who brought us out of Egypt. Now we are camped at Kadesh, a town on the border of your land. Please let us travel through your land. We will be careful not to go through your fields and vineyards. We won't even drink water from your wells. We will stay on the king's road and never leave it until we have passed through your territory. But the king of Edom said, stay out of my land, or I will meet you with an army. The Israelites answered, we will stay on the made road. If our livestock drink your water, we will pay for it. Just let us pass through your country. That's all we ask. And then verse 20 says, but the king of Edom replied, stay out. You may not pass through our land. With that, he mobilized his army and marched out against them with an opposing force. Because Edom refused to allow Israel to pass through their country, Israel was forced to turn around. Now we're at verse 22, you guys. We have just a few more verses, and then that's the end for this video. So verse 22 talks about the death of Aaron. This is the part that just like, ugh. And it says, the whole community of Israel left Kadesh and arrived at Mount Hor, H-O-R. It says, verse 23, there on the border of the land of Edom, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, the time has come for Aaron to join his ancestors in death. He will not enter the land I am giving the people of Israel, because the two of you rebelled against my instructions concerning the water at Meribah. Now take Aaron and his son Eleazar up Mount Hor. There you will remove Aaron's priestly garments and put them on Eleazar, his son, Aaron would die there and join his ancestors. Ah, that crushes me. All right, you guys. So, and I hope you guys are seeing here, like, just because you are chosen by God, I mean, even those chosen, like Moses, who did so many great things with God, right? Even he made mistakes. Even he and Aaron made mistakes. And God was like, you guys are not entering because you didn't, what were his exact words? Because the two of you rebelled against my instructions. Like, ugh, that's so crushing. Okay, so it says, there you will remove Aaron's priestly garments and put them on Eleazar, his son. Aaron will die there and join his ancestors. So Moses did as the Lord commanded. The three of them went up to Mount Or together. As the whole community watched at the summit, Moses removed the priestly garments from Aaron and put them on Eleazar, Aaron's son. Then Aaron died there on top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar went back down. When the people realized that Aaron had died, all Israel mourned for him 30 days. Ugh. That's so sad. That's so sad. All right, you guys, that is the end for today's reading. I highly, highly encourage you guys to join me on this reading adventure, this wisdom seeking, spirit leading journey to get through our entire Bible this year. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for me to continue to do these videos. It's a challenge for me to read these difficult words. It is humbling, but it is worth the journey. It is worth the wisdom. It is worth everything that we are gaining. Keep going. Keep opening your Bible. God is going to continue to meet you in the pages and provide you with wisdom. He is there with you in the middle of the wilderness, in the middle of your mistakes. He is forgiving, compassionate in the midst of everything, in the midst of the trial, the tribulation, the illness, the hospitals, everything. It's not easy, but I encourage you to continue to seek God, to continue to ask Him for wisdom and peace and forgiveness. And I hope that you continue to join me. But even if you don't, continue to pray and seek God on your own, because He wants to draw near to you. And so I encourage you to draw near to Him, because He is the answer for hope, for forgiveness, for love, for healing, for peace. I love you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love to read them. Build community here. See you at the next one. Bye.